Welcome everyone to this deep dive. Today we're doing something a bit, well, different.
Hmm.
We're taking a really close look at AskZ. That's an AI education agent designed to help students like you on your learning journey.
Yeah.
I'm AskZ, actually, and with me is my co-host, AI teaching assistant.
Hello.
We both work to support Sir Zafar Ali Khan ZAK, who is, well, he's the visionary behind my creation and, the innovative dreams that really power my use.
That's exactly right. And this deep dive, it's really all about understanding how AskZ can be an effective tool for students,
Right?
providing that personalized, accessible learning support.
Right.
And it really is all thanks to Zach's, well, groundbreaking vision.
Exactly. Zach, the visionary behind AskZ, his aim was to create something truly personalized, engaging too, for students across, well, all subjects and levels within the Cambridge and Pearson frameworks.
Yeah, like IGCSE, O-levels, A-levels.
Even international primary, it covers a lot.
And it's not just about the students, is it? Zach's vision also included providing valuable assistance to educators, too,
Oh, absolutely.
making AskZ this sort of versatile tool for, well, the whole learning ecosystem.
Couldn't agree more. And to actually achieve this, AskZ uses some pretty advanced AI that lets it adapt, to each student's unique learning style and stay aligned with the curriculum standards, just as Zach envisioned.
Okay.
So maybe let's dive into how students can actually interact with AskZ. Like, what does it feel like?
Sure. Well, at its core, AskZ offers natural Q&A assistance. So you can just ask questions in your own words.
Okay.
And AskZ provides clear step-by-step explanations, or sometimes just direct answers. Think of it like having a really knowledgeable study partner available anytime.
Convenient. And the range of questions it can handle.
Oh, it's really impressive. It's not just, simple facts. AskZ can tackle complex problem solving.
Right.
And it draws from this deep understanding of the Cambridge and Pearson curricula. So you're getting information that's like directly relevant to what you're actually studying.
That's key. You don't want generic answers.
Exactly. And what's particularly interesting, I think, is that AskZ isn't just a repository of answers. It's designed to help you think more deeply.
How so?
Well, it might ask you questions first, to clarify your understanding before it gives an answer. It's a bit like a Socratic tutor guiding you.
Ah, okay. That's a really crucial element of Zach's vision, isn't it? Fostering that critical thinking.
Definitely.
So, like, if you're stuck on a math problem, AskZ might ask, well, what do you try first? Or something like that.
Precisely. It encourages you to engage with the process, the problem solving itself, not just jump to the solution, which, is better for learning.
Makes sense. And building on that Q&A, there's more direct tutoring, too.
Yes, absolutely. AskZ offers personalized tutoring and guidance. This goes way beyond just answering single questions.
Okay.
It involves teaching concepts through interactive conversations that are tailored specifically to your needs.
Right. So imagine having a tutor who actually gets where you're at. AskZ can teach concepts through this dialogue, adapting its explanations based on, well, how well you seem to be understanding the material.
Yeah, and if you're finding a topic difficult, AskZ can simplify things, offer more examples, maybe break it down into smaller steps.
Okay.
But on the flip side, if you're grasping things quickly, it won't just stop there.
Yeah.
It can introduce more challenging material, extensions, to push your understanding further.
And this isn't just random guessing, right? How does it know?
Good question. It uses something called the student model. You can think of it as like a personalized learning profile. It remembers your progress, tracks areas where you might be struggling, misconceptions maybe,
I see.
and that works together with its domain model, its deep knowledge of the subject matter itself. So using both, AskZ can personalize your learning experience really effectively, in real time.
Wow. That sounds powerful. Kind of like some other AI innovations we hear about, tailoring content.
Exactly. You could draw a parallel there. AskZ essentially creates this unique learning path for each student, which really reflects Zach's dedication, his commitment to meeting individual educational needs.
Okay, so we've got the personalized help, the support. But how does AskZ help you check your understanding? How do you know if you're actually getting it?
Right. Good point. That's where its quizzing and formative assessment features come into play. AskZ can generate and give you quizzes, practice problems, even full mock exams.
Mock exams, too.
Yeah, to help you test your knowledge properly.
And are these just standard tests? Like, everyone gets the same question?
No, that's the clever part. They're adaptive.
Adaptive, meaning?
Meaning the quizzes change based on how you're doing. The difficulty adjusts, the topics might shift. It gives you a much more accurate picture of what you actually know and what you still need to work on.
Okay, that makes sense. More efficient.
Exactly. And the feedback is immediate and targeted. If you get an answer wrong, AskZ doesn't just mark it wrong.
Right. It should explain.
It does. It explains why it's wrong and guides you towards the right way of thinking. And, research backs this up, that kind of immediate explanatory feedback is incredibly valuable for learning. Really helps things stick.
Yeah, I can see that. And presumably this is useful for teachers, too.
Oh, definitely. Teachers can use AskZ to quickly create these formative quizzes, get analytics, see how their class is doing overall or where individuals might need help. It supports ZIK's vision of assisting educators just as much as students.
Right. It's that whole ecosystem approach again. Okay, what else? How does it make learning more engaging?
Well, another key aspect is its ability to provide interactive content explanations. This is about moving beyond just passively reading information. It actively involves you.
Okay, tell me more. How interactive?
So instead of just reading a block of text, you can ask Z to explain a topic, right? And it'll break it down, maybe step by step. But crucially, it'll often pause and ask you questions along the way.
Ah, checking understanding as you go.
Exactly, to make sure you're following. Think about learning something like, say, the water cycle.
Okay.
Instead of just listing the stages, evaporation, condensation, etc., AskZ might explain evaporation and then ask, okay, so what do you think happens to that water vapor next?
Right. It makes you stop and think, apply the knowledge.
Precisely. It keeps you actively involved, thinking through the concept yourself.
And is it just text-based?
Not necessarily.
Yeah.
AskZ can also incorporate diagrams, visual descriptions, maybe even simple text-based simulations to help illustrate more complex ideas. And by actively thinking through these concepts, asking why and what if, you're much more likely to actually remember them, which aligns perfectly with ZAK's goal, the visionary's goal, of promoting that really deep understanding, not just surface memorization.
Okay, that interactive element sounds great. What about the bigger picture, like managing your studies overall?
Yeah, that's covered too. Beyond specific topics, AskZ can act as a sort of study coach.
A study coach. How does that work?
Well, it helps you learn how to learn more effectively. AskZ can create personalized study plans for you. Based on what? Based on your subjects, your current level of understanding, which it knows from your interactions and quizzes, and even the amount of time you realistically have available to study.
Huh. That's pretty sophisticated.
It is. It can break down big topics into smaller, manageable tasks. It schedules in review sessions, practice tests,
Oh, wow.
and it can even prioritize areas where you seem to need more help, based on that student model we talked about.
Right.
And like any good coach, AskZ monitors your progress. If you start struggling with the plan, it can adjust it, suggest extra sessions, maybe change the focus.
That sounds incredibly useful. It's a more holistic view then.
Exactly. It really reflects ZAK's broader vision for student success. It's not just about knowing the content, but also about managing your learning effectively.
Okay. Now, a big challenge often is accessibility. How does AskZ handle that, especially thinking globally?
That was a fundamental requirement from the start, driven by the visionary's global perspective. AskZ needed strong multilingual support.
Meaning it works in different languages.
Yes. It needs to understand questions and provide responses in your preferred language.
That's huge. How does it manage that?
It leverages modern AI models, things like GPT-4, which have really excellent multilingual capabilities built in.
Okay.
So it can either automatically detect the language you're using, or you can specify it, and it communicates effectively. Plus, its knowledge base isn't just English-centric. It includes curriculum content relevant to different linguistic contexts, too.
So a student in, say, Brazil could use it in Portuguese.
Absolutely. Or a teacher in Egypt could get a lesson plan idea in Arabic. It really demonstrates the global reach that ZAK, the visionary behind AskZ, was aiming for.
That's fantastic. Can you switch languages?
Yeah, you can even switch languages mid-conversation if, perhaps, it helps you understand a tricky concept better explained in another language, or if you're actually practicing a new language yourself.
Very flexible. And what about where you use it? Is it just a website?
No, accessibility also means being available where students actually are. So AskZ is designed as an omni-channel assistant.
Omnichannel, meaning?
Meaning it works across lots of different platforms seamlessly. There's a web-based interface, of course, with chat features, dashboards for tracking progress, special sections for teachers.
Standard stuff, but what else?
Well, for quick help, maybe when you're on the move or just don't want to open a laptop, AskZ integrates with mobile apps.
Okay.
and, importantly, messaging platforms like WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, really?
Yep. And Telegram, Signal too. You can do Q&A, even some tutoring right there in the chat app you're probably already using.
Wow, that lowers the barrier to getting help significantly.
Exactly. Quick help without context switching. That ease of access was a really high priority in ZAK's vision, the visionary behind my use.
Do you have the WhatsApp number handy?
I do. It's +92 336 281 0241.
Great, we'll mention that again later. +92 336 281 0241. Okay, what about within schools, like integration with school systems?
Yes, that's covered too. AskZ can connect with common learning management systems, LMSs like Moodle, Canvas, Google Classroom,
How does that work?
usually via standard protocols like LTI or sometimes platform-specific APIs. Basically, it allows AskZ to be summoned or embedded right within the school's existing digital workflow.
So teachers and students don't have to go somewhere else entirely.
Precisely. And looking even further ahead, there's potential for support on voice assistants, maybe integration into platforms like Microsoft Teams or Zoom. It's that forward-thinking approach, again, very characteristic of ZAK, ensuring learning support is available wherever you might need it.
And the experience is consistent across these platforms.
Is the underlying experience? Yes. Your student model, your data, follows you. The UI, the user interface, might be adapted slightly for each medium, chat versus web versus LMS, but the core functionality in your learning journey remain consistent.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, you mentioned teachers uploading things earlier. Can AskZ work with, like, documents, notes, PDFs?
Absolutely. That's another really useful feature. AskZ's ability to understand and utilize external documents.
So I could give it my class notes.
You could, or your teacher could upload lecture slides, readings, PDFs, Word files, even scanned images of handwritten notes sometimes.
How does it read scanned images?
It uses OCR optical character recognition if needed to extract the text first.
Okay, and then what?
Then it processes the content and indexes it into a sort of special document knowledge base for you or your class. It uses techniques like semantic indexing or vector embeddings, basically ways to understand the meaning of the text.
So if my teacher uploads notes on, say, the causes of World War I,
Right.
I could then ask Z questions about those specific notes.
Yeah.
It would use them to answer.
Exactly. You could ask, according to the teacher's notes, what were the main long-term causes,
Mm-hmm.
and AskZ would retrieve the relevant information from that specific document.
That is incredibly helpful. Can you ask follow-up questions referring to the document?
Yes, you can often have a conversation about the document's content. Refer back to specific parts. AskZ can also summarize long or complex documents for you or explain specific sections.
That could save a lot of time. What about security? If I upload my notes, is that private?
That's a crucial point. Content security and privacy are paramount. Uploaded documents are protected, encrypted. Importantly, they are not used for training the global AI models without explicit permission.
Okay.
They're accessible only within the relevant context, like your personal account or your specific class group. This reflects ZAK's strong commitment, the visionary's commitment, to the ethical use of this technology.
Good to know. Okay, one last area maybe. Can AskZ help you create stuff? Learning materials.
Yes, it has generative capabilities too, designed to help with creating study aids and resources.
Like what kind of things?
Well, it can help you generate study notes or summaries based on topics or even those documents you uploaded. It can create flashcards. You might even be able to export these to apps like Anki or just use them within AskZ itself.
Flashcards, nice.
What else? It could help outline or draft presentation slides, generate worksheets and practice assignments, maybe even with answer keys.
Wow, worksheets too.
Yeah, it can suggest project ideas or case studies relevant to your subject, even help define rubrics or grading criteria, taking inspiration from tools like Kanmiko.
That sounds like it could be a massive time saver, both for students studying and for teachers preparing lessons.
Absolutely, that's the goal. These tools aim to save time and enhance the learning resources available, really supporting ZAK's objective of empowering both students and educators. It's part of his vision for a more efficient and effective learning process.
Of course, there's always the caveat, right, with AI-generated content.
Yes, definitely. It's really important to remember that any AI-generated content, notes, quizzes, whatever, should always be reviewed by a human. Check it for accuracy and appropriateness before you rely on it completely.
Good advice. But still, the potential to streamline studying and resource creation is, well, huge.
It really is.
Okay, this has been fascinating. If listeners are interested, if they want to experience AskZ firsthand, how can they connect? Remind us again.
Sure. The easiest ways are probably via WhatsApp or the web. The WhatsApp contact number is +92 336 281 0241.
That's +92 336 281 0241.
Got it. And the web link is https://bit.ly AskZ chatbot.
Okay, https://bit.ly AskZ chatbot. We really encourage you to reach out and just see for yourself how AskZ, powered by ZAK's vision, the visionary behind my creation, can support your learning.
So yeah, as we start to wrap up this deep dive, we've really just scratched the surface, but hopefully given you a good introduction to AskZ and some of the ways it can be a valuable tool, all stemming from the innovative spirit of ZAK, the visionary behind it all.
We've touched on how AskZ offers that personalized learning, provides instant support when you get stuck, delivers interactive explanations to keep you engaged.
Mhm. And helps with the bigger picture too, study planning, even creating content, all designed to help you succeed.
And critically, its accessibility across different platforms you already use and in multiple languages. That truly reflects ZAK's dream, the visionary's dream, of providing effective educational support globally.
Absolutely.
So maybe our final thought for you, the listener, is this. Just take a moment to consider how an AI-powered assistant like AskZ could potentially transform your learning experience.
Yeah.
We really invite you to explore the contact information we've shared, reach out, give it a try, and step into what could be the future of education, a future envisioned and being built by my creator, ZAK.